We have with us the partner of Peak Advisors. His name is Mike Wallace.
Hello.
Welcome,
there.
Mike.
Thank you very much.
Not to be confused, as we talked about with Mike Wallace from CBS.
Yes, I wouldn't be talking.
I'll call you Michael. How about that,
How about
Michael?
that? That works.
So, Michael, Peak Advisors, tell me about Peak Advisors, what it is. You're located right here in Innovation
Right,
Pavilion. You have
right.
an office here.
We do.
Tell me what Peak Advisors does.
Well, Peak Advisors is, we have multiple sources of revenue, multiple services, but the genesis of the idea is how can we serve small businesses that we believe, my partner Bruce and I identified a couple years ago, that are being underserved by the accounting profession.
So before we get to the details of that, tell me about maybe Bruce's background, your background. What led you to say, there's a hole in the marketplace and we need to create a solution?
Well, I've been a CFO and controller of a couple companies in town in the last few decades, as you can tell by my hair. And Bruce came to Denver in '08, I believe. And he had been a CFO controller in businesses. He'd worked for GE. And I, in 2012, was doing some work with an accounting firm. And I engaged the partners in some discussions about the services they were offering. And it just struck me that they're probably doing a great job preparing the tax return, probably doing a great job on wealth management, probably doing a great job on auditing.
Yeah.
But no one is talking to the business owner or showing the business owner how to understand the financial statements, or even how to have financial statements.
So you really wanted to sort of back it up and start at the front end of this thing.
That's right. I mean, what's the tail, what's the dog, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the business is what's important to the owner, but he needs to know what's going on in the business.
So your business really focuses on small startups or startups, entrepreneurial businesses, established businesses.
Established businesses.
All size businesses?
Oh yeah, all size. We've been up, revenue-wise, we've been up above 70 million that we're working with. And we're working with companies that are 50 years old. And they've been very successful, and they're wanting to make changes. And so we're about making those changes and enabling it. Mm-hmm. But a key thing is, if we could get the graphic up, I think at this point, is we're about everything that goes on around in the Intuit ecosystem.
Okay.
If it doesn't have to do with Intuit, QuickBooks, we're not going to be able to help you. And the reason for that is there's 10 million plus users of QuickBooks
10 million
in North America.
10 million.
Now, so that's a huge market.
It is a huge market.
And
how many of those 10 million are using it as effectively as they could?
Very, very, very few. Because
right?
the great thing about QuickBooks is it's so easy to use.
Mm-hmm.
The bad thing from an accountant's perspective or a bookkeeper or an owner's perspective is it is so easy to use.
Right.
So it's very easy to do things the incorrect way. So that's kind of where our business is focused on, looking at how we can help the users of that very important business tool get more from it, understand how to use it with training, help them do some consulting with them to show them how to use it better. And those are the things that we're going about with this business, Peak Advisors.
So if I own a business, whether it's a small or a medium size or even a large business, if I'm using QuickBooks as sort of a baseline to my business, you'll help me understand how to use it more effectively so that I speed up the processes for tax returns, I track my money better, maybe my payroll. Do you deal with payroll?
We help them with their payroll to process that more efficiently. Everything in the Intuit world, we can help them in almost all cases do more efficiently. And if you look at what's going on in the world today, automation is not something that's going to happen in the future. Automation is happening right now, today. And again, if we come back to the graphics.
We have I think there are 6 things that you really focus on.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the graphic and go through that. Here we go.
Sure.
So if you look at what our business is about, we offer CFO services, we do QuickBooks training, we're an Intuit Premier reseller, so we're selling the products that we're recommended to you. We are experts in how to use them. We do bookkeeping services, we provide that, and we do QuickBooks consulting, and that's what we've mostly been talking about to this point, as far as saying, well, how do you make it work more effectively? Coming soon is automation. And that's where I was just jumping to with you on that.
Yes, tell me, what does that mean
Well,
for your business?
so what that means for our business is, the business owner needs to ask himself, any business owner, are we still typing things in? Am I still hitting the
data entry,
all that sort of stuff? There is virtually no reason to be doing that today. That is not a value-added activity. We can use tools that use optical devices that scan documents and read them. We can link to databases with QuickBooks using tools to move data from QuickBooks into external databases, or in the case in things such as Shopify and the e-commerce sites that people are using, exporting that information from those e-commerce sites and importing it into QuickBooks. This week, I'm working with a customer who has been retyping every sales order created on Shopify into QuickBooks.
Oh.
It's going away.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's all going away. So all that non-value added work is disappearing.
So have you worked with companies? I think of a friend of mine who's an accountant, and she's worked with a lot of large and medium-sized companies.
Right.
That have old, antiquated, that were once very expensive accounting systems that are hard to navigate, that are very difficult to train others on. Can they migrate that kind of a system easily into QuickBooks? And do you see that happening? Do you see the large companies or medium-sized companies with antiquated accounting systems moving over to QuickBooks? Or are you really seeing people starting off with QuickBooks?
Well, we see both. One of the things to your question is if you look at products that are actually more expensive and more difficult to use. Intuit's QuickBooks products are very inexpensive and they're very powerful. There are limitations, there's a defined market for it, but if you're a user, say, of, a Sage product or something like that, and you're tired of paying what you're paying for that subscription every year, you probably can move to QuickBooks and have something that's much easier to get up to speed on and is more flexible. And we see that happening all the time, not just to pick on Sage. This stuff goes the other way. But with other products, business owners say, QuickBooks is the fit for me. That's where I want to go. And importantly, a lot of that change is happening from desktop users of these products that want to go into the cloud and using QuickBooks Online, which is today, it's not the product it was 5 years ago when it was first introduced, but it's a fantastic product to use. If you're a QuickBooks user, the conversion to QuickBooks Online in most cases takes just a couple hours. It's very quick. If you're a Sage or you're a Mass 90 or a Macola, for goodness sakes, user, you can convert that to QuickBooks. We help people do that all the time.
And then with the automation happening now or coming on board, that will change everything for the conversion of these old antiquated technologies maybe to this.
One of the two great big Intuit QuickBooks events every year just happened in Orlando, and my partner Bruce was there. At that event, the statement was made that by 2020, IBM's Watson will be preparing well over half of the tax returns in the United States.
Half?
Yes, well over half. Now, okay, it's a little boasting, all that type of stuff and all that. But if you look at our profession, the accounting profession, you look at the bookkeeping profession, you look at the tax return preparation, a lot of the stuff that people do today, it's going away. And it's going to go completely away. And that can start today with tools taking non-added value work.
But that doesn't mean jobs will go away. It just changes. The function
changes. You're going to be focused on on higher value, higher intellect activities.
Well, that's a good thing, because I don't know about you, but in my professional history, the accounting department doesn't always get the credit it's due.
Well, every accountant in the world is happy to hear you say that, because they all believe that's true.
I know it's true, but here's the thing. I mean, those of us who may be in sales and marketing that sell it, and those who manufacture it and make it, that's all well and good, but at the end of the day, if you can't keep track of the money that's coming from it, you don't have a business. So I applaud you accountants out there.
And the owner needs to know that, because he needs to know what the value of the company he's building is.
Sure.
I mean, that is something that you make concrete steps towards, and you can make decisions that add value or don't. But if you're not even seeing it reflected in the numbers, how do you know what the outcome of the decision was?
It. I mean,
you have an idea, but you don't have it to show and share with anyone else.
It's a compass. Really.
That's right.
It's a compass.
Report card. We use the phrase report card, but a compass is also a good one.
Sure. Well, if your true north is profitability, it's a compass.
There you go. That's a good way to look at it.
So if you wouldn't mind, Jock, would you please pull up the graphic one more time, because I want to make sure those of you out there who have heard about peak advisors have the opportunity. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, that's fine. It's at www.peakadvisors.com. That's where you go for more information.
It is. We have a great website, lots of video on it. We have a blog that you can look into. Follow us on the blog. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on Facebook. All those type of things.
And you don't have to be here in the Denver market, obviously.
No,
right?
we work nationwide, even some international. We have a niche that we've created, and our reputation for high quality work is spread, and it brings in customers from all over the country.
Well, I have to tell you, for all of us here in the Denver market, we're happy to have you right here.
It's a pleasure to be at the
And
Innovation Pavilion.
No, that's very nice of you to say. And I
It's
appreciate
true.
you coming
It's
in.
absolutely great.
Isn't it a great place?
It is.
And speaking of that, thank you for coming.
That's my
We'll come
pleasure.
back. We'll come back sometime. We'll talk a little
If
bit.
you ask me to, sure.
We'll do it.